I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me.
Well, the abbot was sleeping in the monastery, and he woke to the sound of someone moving around in the meditation room. So he went to investigate. In the darkness, he saw a silhouette of a hooded figure. It was a burglar. "What do you want, my friend?" said the abbot kindly. "Give me the key to the donation box, punk," said the burglar, brandishing a long, sharp knife. The abbot saw the weapon, bleep, 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 whatever he saw. The abbot saw the weapon, but felt no fear. He felt only compassion for the young man. "Certainly," he said, handing over the key. As the thief frantically emptied the box of cash, the abbot noticed that the burglar's jacket was torn and his face was pale. And he said, "When was the last time you ate, dear boy?" "Shut up," barked the burglar. "You'll find some food in the cupboard next to the donation box. Help yourself." The thief then paused a moment in confusion. He was taken aback by the abbot's consideration and his kindness and the concern for his welfare. Still pointing the knife at the monk, just in case, he hurriedly filled his pockets with cash from the donation box and food from the cupboard. "And don't call the cops, or else," he shouted. "Why should I call the police?" answered the abbot calmly. "Those donations are to help poor people just like you. And I have freely given you food. You have stolen nothing. So go in peace." A few days later, the abbot heard that the burglar had been caught robbing another house, and this time he was sentenced to 10 years in jail. And just over 10 years later, the same abbot was woken up early in the morning by the sound of someone in the meditation room. He got up to investigate. And surely, you guessed it, he saw the old burglar standing next to the donation box, carrying a sharp knife. "Remember me?" shouted the burglar. "Yes," groaned the abbot, reaching into his pocket. "Here's the key." Then the burglar smiled, put down the knife, and said gently, "Sir, put away the key. I couldn't stop thinking about you all those long nights in prison. You were the only person in my entire life who was kind to me, who actually cared about me. I have spent many hours pondering my life, wondering, what is my life about? And yes, I've come back to steal again. But I realized last time I took the wrong things. This time I have come to take your secret of illumination, of purpose and service, because I want to be a force for good in the world. That's really all I wanted in the first place anyway. So, please hand over the key to illumination, the key to purpose, and the key to service. Make me your disciple. Soon after, the thief became a monk and became rich beyond his wildest dreams, not with money, but with the wealth brought on by becoming illumined, by finding his purpose, and by being of service. What a steal. Today's talk is titled, Desire to Inspire, Being a Force of Good in the World. I believe that we all have this innate desire within us to inspire. That we have this innate desire to inspire the world, to be a force of good on the planet. Don't you have that? Yes. Right? It's right here, right? I think that's why we come to a Unity church and we follow these principles, because on some level we get that it's our responsibility, that it's our job, and it is our passion, that it is our essence to be that light, to serve our planet in some way. And we have many opportunities to do so in our relationships, in our families, in going to the grocery store, and just being that presence, showing that divine light that's within us. The problem, though, is that we are naive to our greatness, right? We all have this divine light within us, but we let false thoughts and beliefs and ideas keep us from fully shining our divine light, right? In order to shine our divine light, of course, if we want to shine this light and we want to be an illumined essence in the world, what do we have to do first? If we're going to shine that light, what do we get to do?
Turn it on.
We have to turn that light on, right? We have to go through the transformation and become, in a sense, illumined so that we can shine that light for other people. If we are holding on to anger, if we're holding on to apathy or blame or competitiveness, or if we are holding on to criticism or resistance or doubt or fear of change, if we're holding on to judgment or to outdated beliefs and negative thinking, we deny the power that we have within ourselves to shine. So, we all have this desire to inspire. I believe that most of us, and maybe all of us, have this innate feeling within us that we are here to be a light in the world, to inspire, to connect people, to love. The robber in the story wanted to be a force of good in the world. He wanted to become illumined. He wanted to find his purpose, and he wanted to be of service. And don't you know, on some level, don't you feel that you want that same thing? Yeah. That you want to have the consciousness to serve the world. So how do we get them? How do we become illumined? Because we all desire illumination. So what is illumination? Very basically, it's recognizing that we have that light within us, right? It's knowing that somewhere in me, in this presence that I am, I have this illumined spirit within me. The only way that we can find this light is by entering into that light ourselves. Illumination begins with a recognition of the principles of truth that we teach. It's recognizing that if I want to become illumined, I need to move past the doubts and the fears and the judgments that I might be holding on to that in a sense dim my view. That the thoughts that hinder me and you from experiencing the fullness of who we are. So how do we do that? I think it's simpler than we think. I think it's really about asking the divine light, the divine presence within ourselves, and basically saying to it, I want to express the light. What do I need to experience that light? And I know if we are sincere in asking that question, we will get the answer. because whatever is in our way is going to show up for us, right? Because we know that thoughts are powerful, and what we think and what we say, we attract to us, right? So if we're saying, I want to know what it is that's blocking me from being the most powerful divine light that I can be, it's going to show up, right? Oh boy! Oh darn, right? Because this means in order for us to be illuminated, we have to face the tough stuff, right? We have to face our error thoughts, our beliefs, the things that aren't working in our life if we truly want to become illumined. And, maybe that's why there's so few people here, right? Because who really wants to do that? It's a lot easier to go some other place and be told that somebody's going to do that for you, right? You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is accept the being, and it's done for you. But in our unity teachings, we know that we have to take responsibility for that which we desire. If we want to become illumined, if we want to find our purpose, if we want to serve the world, we get to open up to the presence of God that's within us and allow that energy to move through us. You might remember this quote by Marianne Williamson. She said, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people will feel insecure around you. We are meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that's within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in all of us. It's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our fear, our presence automatically inspires others and liberates others. Wow, don't you just know that's true? That our deepest fear is that we're afraid of our light, not our darkness. Why is that? I think it's because we fear the unknown, right? And if we're going to step into our full potential, that could be scary, right? I might have to do something that I don't know how to do. Isn't it great? And isn't that what it's all about? We're talking about really the creative spiritual process, which is about stepping into the place where we don't know what to do. Right? Because it's in that place where we tap into the divine power that is the essence of who we are. When we can say, okay, Spirit, I don't know what to do. Just show up. Show up. Be present. Respond in love. Be present. Be there. And the answers will come. The light within us is the presence of God. When we affirm that the light of God is the potential within us, we gain spiritual understanding. And it's through this spiritual understanding that we become illumined, and the light within us can shine. Remember what Jesus said in Matthew 5, chapters 14 to 16? He said, verses 14 to 16, he said, you are the light of the world. Think he was joking? Right? This phrase has been so misunderstood. Because people didn't want us to have that power. So it's been so mistranslated. You are the light of the world, he said. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others so that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father which is in heaven, which is the essence of truth. It's really bringing glory to the presence of God that is the potential within us, not to some being on some cloud. It's glorifying that very essence, that very truth that we are. Yeah? Divine light within me frees me from limitations. I am illumined and inspired to serve the world. Say that with me. Divine light within me frees me from limitations. I am illumined and inspired to serve the world. So, how do we become illumined? If we truly desire to serve the world, we set the intention that we will become illumined, that we will know, we will see that light within ourselves, we'll call upon that light within ourselves, and it will show itself to us. The presence of God within us will reveal that which we desire. So we are here to be pure expressions of love in the world, of God in the world, of peace in the world. So the second thing the thief wanted was a purpose. He went to the monastery desiring a purposeful life. Something within him made him show up there, right? He was drawn to that spiritual place so that he could become illumined and he could find his purpose. So in order to find our purpose, we need to find that force within us that is going to draw us to that which is our purpose. And the way we do that is by looking at our values. Looking at what do we value? What do you value? What are some of your values? Now, if you said, my home, my car, my swimming in the ocean, my jewelry, no, those are valuables, right? They're not values. So how can you tell the difference between your valuables and your values? The truth is that if someone can take them away from you, then they're not your values. Your values cannot be taken away. Your values are sort of the base of what you live your life around. They are the beliefs and attitudes that move with you through this lifetime. And they can change. They can be magnified. But so today I'm going to ask you to start considering, what are your values? What is really important to you? I could say that integrity is one of my values, right? Every day I try to live in integrity as best I can. And if I'm honest with people, if I show up for people, if I'm being truthful, if I'm acting in integrity, I know that I am sharing my value because that's important to me. Money, on the other hand, is not one of my values. In fact, that's something that's valuable, right? Rather, money is a thing I value, and of course, there are many ways to get it. I'm fortunate enough that I get to do this job and I get paid for it. And so I receive money that way. And another thing I could do is go to the monastery and take money out of the donation box. But that wouldn't really be compatible with what's integrity for me. So, personal values are measuring sticks by which we determine what is a successful and meaningful life. So what values are important to you? If we say that we want to be a force of good on the planet, the definition of good is a reflection of what we value. Some might see being a force of good as giving money to charity. Others might see it as offering people an exciting experience. So whatever it is, it's determined by our personal values. Every moment of every day, whether we realize it or not, we are expressing our values. The way that we show up in life is the way that we express our values. Right now, you're choosing to be at Unity Church of Maui, right? Because this is a value for you. The things that we teach, I believe, are in alignment with the things that you value. So you are very much responding in your life to things that are valued, that have value for you, not in a materialistic way. So our values are constantly reflected in the way we choose to behave. If we were to follow someone around, we would notice how they respond in life. We'd be able to see what their values are. And ultimately, we all need to value ourselves and a higher purpose than ourselves. So whether we believe in God or Spirit or Allah or some moral cause, we need to value something above ourselves to make our lives feel as though they have meaning. Because if you make yourself, the Spirit within you, the highest value in your life, then you'll never feel the desire to sacrifice anything. Because you know what your values are, and you're always targeting your values. So defining your values and finding your purpose are kind of the same thing. And it's kind of interesting, I think. We don't really notice how we breathe until we bring our attention to our breath. Otherwise, the breath just kind of controls itself. Our minds are triggering the things that keep us breathing, and our values are kind of the same way. Until we really look at what are our values, they can be something out there that we really haven't identified. And so what we're hoping today is that we can begin to see, what are your values? And then are you living your life according to your values? So I believe that we all have the desire to inspire and be a force of good in the world. So let's look at our personal values. I've got a list of them here. And so I've listed some personal values that someone might have. There's a bunch, I know. I'll read them in case you can't see this. So there's being spiritual, having kindness, being selfless, having humility, being determined, being generous, being wise, being compassionate, being accepting diversity, being honest, being playful, being loving, being respectful, being appreciative, being competent, being worthy, being brave. Can you think of any more? Any other value that you might have that I didn't mention? Being free. Yeah, good, thank you. Anyone else? Being funny. I didn't put humorous on here? Oh, for Pete's sake, thank you. That certainly is one of my values. So, just looking at this list, what jumps out at you? I invite you to pick a couple of them that jump out at you. Maybe they're something that you already value, or maybe something that you haven't paid so much attention to. And just pick two. Pick two that have a feeling for you. I think that it's important to have like an emotion about this and feel like a resonance to a couple of them. Do you have a couple? Okay, so we're going to do a short reflection. It's not really a meditation, but I'm just going to invite you to close your eyes. And take a moment and reflect on one of those two values. Just to kind of see, what does it feel like for you? Is it something that's apparent in your behavior? Is it something that's a priority for you? Is it something that through its use can help to make you a force of good in the world? And just kind of be with that for a moment. What does that look like? It doesn't mean you have to go out and try and create peace in the world. It just might be what you bring to the world is your expression and experience of this value. And then consider the other value that you chose. And how does that feel for you? Is it something that you are aware of and using in your life? Is it something that by focusing on it, you can live in a way that brings good to the world? And just be with that for a moment or two. And then I invite you to bring your awareness back and to open your eyes. So I've got some homework for you today, for this week, and that is to take these two values and reflect on them and be aware of what they are and look at how you're spending your week. Are you paying any attention to these values? Are you responding to life as these values, reflecting these values? And you might even look at what can I do in my life to express these values? And like I said, it may not be trying to go out and change the world or create peace or solve hunger problems. It may just be paying attention to these values in some way. You know, we have a friend whose name is Jane, and if I were to say that she had two values, they would be playful and positive. She is one of the most positive people I've ever known. She was moving to Lake Tahoe, I believe, and we said to her, "Boy, it's going to be cold there. It's going to be snowy there." Right? And thinking, God, you're moving from Maui to Lake Tahoe. And if you've seen the news lately, you know what it could be, right? And she says, I love cold weather. I love the snow. I can't wait to play in the snow. And, and she was living her values. Isn't that great? And when we do that, it just feeds right into what our purpose is. Right? She knew that she had to move there to be with her family, and she brought that excitement of enjoying the cold and being able to play in the snow because she used her values to determine her purpose. Wow, it's amazing She was an amazing woman. She was a play therapist as an occupation, right? So she played in a sandbox with kids and did therapy. It's like, wow, how could she have found any better occupation? So amazing. So we have the desire to inspire. We have the desire to be a force of good in the world. You know, the robber wanted to be a force of good in the world. He wanted illumination, he wanted purpose, and he wanted to be of service. So, divine light within me frees me from limitations, and I am illumined and inspired to serve the world. So, your life is your church. What I mean by that is the way you live your life and the way that you are in the world is your church, right? And by church, I mean it's not really about a place. It's about a consciousness and a way of being in the world. You know, if we think about it, if we look at Jesus as an example, Jesus was able to be with many people in his lifetime, exposed to many people in his lifetime. He had nowhere near the opportunity that we have to be around people and to be the light of the world. And the purpose of life is to express God's love. You know, I believe that people don't come into our lives so that we get anything. I believe that people come into our lives so that they get love from us. So imagine every person that comes into your life is there for you to give them love. And imagine if we could have that attitude all of the time. And no matter how difficult perhaps, or how challenging, or how wonderful that person might be, they are there to give you the opportunity to love. Because your life is your church, and you are a disciple. You are a minister of truth, and you have been given this amazing experience of life to share God's love, to share the light with everyone, to be the light of the world. All of us are ministers of light, of truth, of power. What would that be like if that was one of your values? Is to be that present wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Would that change your life? Would that change the way you showed up? Would that change the way you felt when you woke up in the morning? To realize, I'm going out to my church, right? And I'm just going to be this presence of love wherever I am, right? And I'm going to be excited about it. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to be that light. I know that if anything shows up that's not that, I get to work through that. We'll all be doggone. I can work on that light and be that light. So I'm going to end my talk today with a poem by Hafiz titled, "The Lute Will Beg." You need to become a pen in the sun's hand. We need for the earth to sing through our pores and eyes. The body will again become restless until your soul paints all its beauty on the sky. Don't tell me, dear ones, that what Hafiz says is not true. For when the heart tastes its glorious destiny, and when you awake to our constant need for your love, God's lute will beg for your hands. Divine light within me frees me from limitations, and I am illumined and inspired to serve the world. Let's say that together. Together, divine light within me frees me from limitations, and I am illumined and inspired to serve the world. I invite you to close your eyes. And let your consciousness move into the center of your being, into your heart. Breathing in and breathing out. Connecting with that divine light within you. And imagine as you give your attention to this light that it draws you in. The light embraces you and loves you, invigorates you. And I invite you again to contemplate the values that you have. What are two of the values that are important to you right now? To breathe into those values. To recognize that these values are the gifts of spirit. They are the vibration of your essence. They are the gifts of light that draw you towards your highest good, that inspire your passion. They are the values that feed your soul. They are the energy that has called you into this time, into this life. They are unique to you. And breathing in and breathing out. Just let these values lie gently upon your heart. You don't have to do anything with them right now, but enjoy. Let's take just a moment or two to embrace them in the silence. Breathing in and breathing out. And slowly bringing your awareness back to this moment. invite you to open your eyes whenever you're ready. So I'm curious, what are some of the values you came up with? I think that, there's power in stating it out loud and saying, these are some of my values. So I give you the opportunity to shout it out. What's a value that you cherish and are going to experience and be and live in the world?
Being authentic.
Being authentic, yes. Brave. Woo! Let's hear it for brave, huh? Playful, yes. Empowering, yes. Generous, oh, yes. Insightful, I love it. Forgiving. Woo, that's a big one, isn't it? Determined, yes. Wow. Oh, curiosity, being curious. Oh, so great. Adventuresome. Woo! Appreciative. Nice. Wow, can you just feel that? Yeah? Wow. Generosity of spirit. Yes. Thank you. Well, I invite you at this time to prepare your love offerings and your gifts that you have abundantly and prosperously. Is that a word? Prosperously? Denoting prosperity that you brought to share with us at Unity on Maui. And I really hope that what we offer you on Sunday morning is changing your lives, helping you to get in contact with the truth of who you are, because that's really what this is all about. The work that we do in Unity is about identifying the things in our life that we get to bring light to so we can be that in the universe. And so your donations help us do that. Your participation, I must say that this ministry is so reliant on participation, and thank you to everyone who serves this ministry. So, as you hold your gift, I invite you to consider again the values that you are bringing to the world, and perhaps even the opportunity to discover more values as you spend time this week reflecting on what your values are. So as we hold our gifts, knowing that our values are coming to us in a perfect way right now, let's affirm our prosperity together by saying our prayer of prosperity. Together, through a grateful, giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing, infinite supply. And so it is. Namaste. Oh, loving Spirit, thank you for these gifts that have come to us in love. We hold them, we bless them, we give thanks for them, knowing that they are moving through this spiritual community, through this community on Maui, through this community in Hawaii and the world. And we give thanks knowing that this light that we are shining is impacting people all over the world as we hold what is true for us and live that which we are in a true and impactful and loving way. And we behold a world that's filled with love, with light, with joy, and with peace. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you. So we've got a couple announcements. Robin, do you want to be the first one?
Oh, I can be the first one. Easter is coming up, right? Yeah, I think we have 4 weeks, right? And we're starting to think about what we might do musically. And what I am wondering is if we have any people interested in joining our Joy Singers. If you remember last year, we sang Rolling Back the Stone and we did some fun stuff. So we'll try to come up with some more fun stuff for this year. So if you're interested, I'm still figuring out what we're going to do, but I'd like to hear your feedback. I have a little sign-up sheet over there. If I already have your email, you'll probably get an email from me. And if I don't already have your email, go ahead and put it down there, and let's see what we can come up with for Easter for some wonderful celebration, all right? All right.
We're going to have a good time. We're going to do one service
Yeah.
on Easter morning, and it'll be great. So come along and join us. Come and play with us on Easter. And let's see. You can sign up to bring flowers. Today we have our stand-in flowers. When we don't have flowers that if somebody has given us, we put these in. But usually we have the opportunity always for you to bring flowers. And there's a sign-up sheet in the back that you can sign up and say, I want to bring flowers today, and I'd like to donate them to someone's birthday or a friend or for Unity Community, whatever it is. So please use the sign-up sheet. And we are a compassionate community, and we have a compassion team, which Joy and Kailani are a part of. And if you're interested in, you are a compassionate person, maybe that was one of your values that came up today and you're wondering how you can use it. Our compassion team helps to bring love and light to people in the community, to bring friendship and however we can serve in that way. So if you're interested, see Joy or Kailani. Also, not sure what Mike has planned for activities at this point, but I know he's going to come up with something, and we'll let you know as soon. Joy does.
Well, I know that there'll be another sound bath.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm doing that every month.
Oh, good.
Okay.
All right.
So there will be a sound bath, Joy informs me of, that Carrie does sometime this month, I'm guessing.
Early April.
Probably early April. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. And next week, my talk is titled Desire to Inspire, Tapping into Your Creative Power. And so we're going to sort of use today as a base and move into next week to look at how can we ignite the creative energy that we have. I like to think that the presence of God, that divine light within us, is the power of creativity, right? Because basically everything we do really is calling upon this creative energy. So next week we're going to look at what can we do to bring forth this creative energy within ourselves. And so join us next week for that. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And if you enjoyed the talk today, I create this summary. I call it a Walk Your Talk, and it's available in the back that outlines the things that I talked about today. It's also available online in our newsletter that comes out on Thursday. And I think that's it. You got anything else?
Nope. All right.
You good? Everybody's good?
Yeah.
All right, so
Feeling
why don't we
great.
stand?
Yeah.
And take a deep breath, and we'll say the prayer for protection, and then we'll do the peace song. So let's say the prayer for protection together. Together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Thank you all for being here today. God bless you. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Where I live, there